Have you heard of this sport that's just exploding everywhere? It seems like it came out of nowhere, but trust me, if you haven't heard of it yet, you're about to. So let's unpack this global sensation everyone's talking about, Padel. Get this. Right now, more than 25 million people around the world are playing paddle. And that number isn't static. It's climbing like crazy, every single day. Just wow. And, this isn't just a fad in a couple of places. We're talking about an officially recognized sport in over 90 countries. Think about that. From Europe to the Middle East to the Americas, these courts are just popping up everywhere. It's wild. Okay, so with numbers like that, you have to ask, right? What is this sport? Where did it even come from? And what's the secret sauce that makes it so ridiculously addictive? Let's get right into it. All right, so the origin story here is just fantastic. It doesn't come from some big corporation or a fancy sports lab. Nope. It all started in a backyard. We're talking Acapulco, Mexico, 1969. And the best part? It was a complete and very happy accident. The guy we have to thank is Enrique Corcuera, and his motivation was pretty simple. He was just kind of tired of the usual sports. He wanted something that wasn't so intense and serious, Something more social, more about just having fun with your friends. So it all came down to a couple of very practical problems he had at his house. One, he didn't have room for a regular tennis court. And two, and I think we can all relate to this, the tennis balls kept ending up in his neighbor's yard. So his fix was brilliant in its simplicity. He built a smaller court, about 20 by 10 meters, and just put walls around it. And bam! Just like that, he accidentally invented a whole new sport. And from that one court, the whole thing just took off. A friend of his from Spain came to visit, absolutely loved the game, and took the idea back to a tennis club in Marbella. That was back in the 70s. From there, it just started to catch on, slowly at first, then leading to the very first World Championships in '92. And well, today, it's the global craze we've been talking about. Okay, so that's the origin story. But how do you actually play? Well, if you want to understand Padel, you gotta understand the walls. They aren't just there to keep the ball in. No, they're an active part of the game. That's the real game changer.
Honestly, the easiest way to get it is to compare it to tennis. So the court, way smaller, and it's boxed in by walls. The serve, it's underhand and kind of gentle, so no crazy powerful overheads. The biggest thing, though, is that the walls are totally in play after the ball bounces, and that changes the entire dynamic. Oh, and one more huge thing. It's always played in doubles. So right from the get-go, it's built to be social.
Okay, if you take away just one thing about the rules, let it be this. This is the golden rule of Padel. The ball has to bounce on the ground first before you can play it off of a wall. That's what makes it different from, say, squash, where you can just whack it straight at the wall. This one little detail, it's the core of the whole strategy. And speaking of simple, check out the serve. You stand behind the line, you bounce the ball once, and you hit it underhand below your waist. That's it. No complicated throwing motion, no need to be super powerful. This is a massive reason why it's so popular. A total beginner can literally be having a rally in like 5 minutes. It's so accessible. A couple other key things to know. It's always doubles, 4 players, so it's got that social vibe built right in. The scoring is exactly the same as tennis, so if you know that, you're golden. But here's a really cool strategic twist. You can use the walls on your side to play the ball back over the net. How cool is that? So, when you put it all together, the simple rules, the fact that it's so social, this unique strategy with the walls, that's the magic formula. That's what took a fun little backyard game from Acapulco and launched it into a global phenomenon. So what is that recipe for success exactly? Well, if you ask people who play, the reasons are pretty clear. For almost half of them, it's just plain social and fun. For another big chunk, it's because it's so easy to learn. And yeah, it's a fantastic workout, but it's not as physically demanding as tennis, which means pretty much anyone, any age, any fitness level can jump in and have a great time. Let's just circle back to that growth for a second. I mean, look at these numbers. In just a few years, we've gone from about 5 million players to over 25 million. That's not just growth, that's an absolute explosion. It just goes to show how this game perfectly hit the mark for what people were looking for. A new, fun way to move and connect with each other. So if you had to boil it all down to one sentence, this is probably the best way to put it. It's like it takes the best parts of other racket sports. You get the strategy and scoring of tennis mixed with the wild, wall-bouncing action of squash. It's the perfect hybrid. And that really leaves us with one big question. When you look at how easy it is to start, how social it is by design, and how downright addictive the game is, you have to wonder, right? Is this the future of how we play sports socially? I guess only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. Right now, the world is absolutely hooked.